Welcome to, no, welcome back to the second episode of the Choecast, our English class's exclusive podcast. Exclusive isn't just for our English class. Anyway, I did promise you that I was going to bring guests, and I brought a really awesome guest today, so y'all should be very thankful to me. This is the wonderful Ms. Jacqueline Policio. She is probably one of the coolest people I know. Real talk, she is my friend from college. We went through some 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 trauma together. We went through school together. So before you're like, who is this lady? She is highly qualified. She is above your level. Don't even get it twisted. Okay. Do you want to introduce yourself, say anything?
Hi guys. Yeah, so Miss Choi and I went to Rutgers together, and I'm sure you've heard of um, the stories from that place. And as much as we talk about the trauma, it really brought us all together. And I currently teach in Edison. I teach at Edison High School. I teach sophomore English and senior English. And if the seniors do good enough, they get college credit at Rutgers. So yeah, we talk about all the RU screw, and then I kind of encourage them to still apply. So we do what we got to do.
So we were talking, about what kind of things that we could talk about today. And I think the topics that sort of stuck out to us were, life balance, self-care, and managing stress. So I don't want to call this the stressful episode, but it is kind of like the stress episode. So I think both of us, because we've been working with teenagers for a few years now, I think probably the first thing we talk about a lot is this idea of you have to practice self-care. And I feel like in my experience, a lot of students are like, what is self-care? Is that a food? So in your mind, kind of what is self-care?
Right. So I wish it was like a magic pill. You just went into the cabinet, you popped in, and you drink a little bit of water, but it's one of those things that's different for everybody. And to me, in a nutshell, self-care is taking care of yourself, not to define it with the definition, which is an English no-no, but checking in with yourself, knowing what you need, and giving yourself time to replenish. Because you're going to have to do things that you don't want to do. You're going to have to do things that are tiring. What are you doing to fill yourself back up? What are you doing to replenish? So that could be anything from taking a nap to something more rigorous like exercising. It doesn't necessarily mean relaxing in the traditional sense.
So self-care is kind of, it's going to look different for every person, right?
Absolutely. And I think it's a lot of trial and error too, because nowadays you see self-care becoming popular, which is, I think, really healthy and helpful. Like if something's going to be trendy, at least it could be helpful and healthy.
That's true.
But it's face masks and it's meditation and it's yoga, but not everybody's going to like our face masks, Judy, and not everybody's going to like yoga. And I'm not really into meditation, even though it's everywhere and I keep trying. So
I can't get into it either.
you
I
can look
can't.
into you can look into some of the popular stuff. It doesn't mean you're going to like it, but you'll find what you do like.
I feel like also, I think one thing that I do kind of have an issue with self-care is I think people equate self-care to always having to do with sort of beauty and luxury. And I feel like sometimes it almost like they kind of trade in doing their work for the sake of self-care. So I feel like I've legitimately seen students in class doing their makeup, and I'm like, what are you doing, sis? And they're like, I'm practicing self-care. I'm like, no, you're failing my class.
No, right. It's not like an excuse to get out of things. And as silly as that is, like there's a time and place. And that kind of makes me think about this push for self-care with students and teenagers and even teachers nowadays. Like your students might not be familiar with this, but we see this in the teacher world all the time, like teacher self-care, Zen teacher, this and that. The root of the issue is not being addressed. Like I'm supposed to go for a walk and do meditation, and the students are supposed to like take deep breaths. You're not getting at the root of their stress. So why are we assigning so much homework? Why are we going to school so early in the morning? Why are we giving teachers more work and less time to deal with it, and then expecting to put the pressure on them? Like a face mask's not going to give me less essays to grade, okay, Karen?
Do you feel like our students are more stressed than we were in high school?
Wonder if it's that ever present like age gap, like, okay, boomer, like you don't understand me. And, now that we're getting like in our late 20s,
No,
like we
no,
don't know
no. We're both 21. What are you talking
you're
about? No,
ageless.
No.
We don't know who the rappers are. I don't know how to TikTok, okay? Is it just like that gap, we're never going to understand them? Or I think the addition of technology and social media is really impacting them in a way that we were just like getting into it in college when we were more fully formed and more distant from our parents. And it's I don't think it's I don't think it's the same as when we were growing up. I could imagine that they're more stressed out than we are, and that maybe they have less obvious healthy ways to deal with it. Like our parents used to just be like, go outside, don't come home till it's dinner time. And now you have all this access to technology all day, social media all day. I can't imagine that's easy to concentrate. It's not easy for us to concentrate on grading and lesson planning.
Oh my God, I can't focus on anything anymore.
Mm. And I'm like, am I getting old? Or yes to both, I guess. We're old and there's all these distractions.
Like I'll watch like a 3 minute video on YouTube and I skip through it because I
Oh yeah.
can't sit through 3 minutes. What's wrong with
And we're avid readers, and I get an article and I'm like, where's the summary? Like, I'm just reading topic sentences. Pro tip, kids, what's the title? Look at the topic sentences, skip to the end where they're going to reiterate their claim. And this access to information is both good and bad. Like right now, everybody's talking coronavirus, 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 and you want to know what's going on, but like, are you just going to send each other corona memes all day? Is that is that
That's
making
what
you
I've
feel
been doing in our group chat nonstop.
the same? And it's like, if that was self-care, like, or I didn't need self-care because of it, because I was getting so much like balance, I would just come home from school, do what I had to do as far as schoolwork, and then play and be a kid. And I don't know if teenagers get to do that anymore. Is there enough time for them to get all their work done and then relax?
Oh yeah, that's something I was thinking of because there's really basic stuff that I feel like we knew growing up, and I'm wondering, was it something that was taught to me or was it something that I just saw my family doing? But for example, how many of your students eat breakfast in the morning?
Right? Like I see them come in and they either have like a bagel from, like we have a Java lounge at school. Some of the special needs students sell bagels on Fridays
Hmm.
and coffee, or they come in with like a Red Bull and like a pack of Sour Patch Kids, and you're like, no, 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 no. Right. And it's like, did your parents make you breakfast growing up, or did you just know, like, I watch mom and dad eat breakfast and then I'm going to eat breakfast?
I think my mom made breakfast when I was a kid, and then starting around middle school, I started to just make breakfast on my own because I
Right.
wanted my mom to sleep in.
Yeah, and you always heard, like, I feel like when we were growing up, breakfast was the most important meal of the day. There were all these cereal commercials on. Like, if you couldn't make yourself something fancy, you would at least, like, I would eat cereal pretty much, or a Pop Tart. Not that it's the healthiest option, but it was something.
Yeah, because your brain doesn't work. Like I don't like what are the why do they not teach you this in high school? But your brain runs on sugar. Like it needs energy. That's what food is. And so when you
Yeah,
eat, it's not like gonna go straight to your booty. A lot of it goes to your brain. And then they come in the morning and they're like, "I'm hungry, miss." And then they're like lying face down on the desk because they have no energy. And they're like, "I wonder why I'm so tired." And I'm like, "Because you didn't eat
yeah.
food."
Or they drink no water, none. They just juice, Red Bull, whatever else. And I don't know. Like I definitely came home from school in high school and would eat like half a box of Cheez-Its and like two Pepsis. But I think your metabolism is like okay with that when you're a
Oh, yeah.
teenager. Everybody's body's different, but like I think you have to like discover healthy habits on your own to an extent too, because like your mom's always going to tell you to eat your vegetables and that. But like I only started liking vegetables as like a young adult and an adult. So I think you'll figure it out. Like most people figure it out, hopefully.
Yeah. Like I know some people they can do I think it's The Rock. He does fasting, intermittent fasting and he doesn't eat. And my brother does that. If I do that, I will kill everybody I see. I will destroy the world. It's very bad.
Absolutely. I eat all day. I eat all the time. And it's like, I eat a little bit at a time. Like they say, oh, you're like a grazer. I don't care what you call me. Like I'm hungry. I want a snack. And that's part of my self-care. That's part of my like my fuel too. It's like I can't I can't teach you as well if I'm not focused, if I'm hungry and distracted. And I think the kids need to realize like you got to meet your needs first. Like when you're sitting down to do work, did you eat? Did you drink water? Are you in like a semi-quiet, like safe area? Like right now, I'm sitting at my dining room table. If I was in my bed, I would be ready to pass out. So you have to find like a workspace that's gonna work for you. Or like when you think you're just gonna look at your phone before bed and then you're up for like an extra hour or two, or the first thing you do in the morning is check your phone. Like I would encourage you to put your phone on the other side of your room so when your alarm does go off, you actually get up and you go over to it and then you're already up. Like if you're gonna crawl back in bed on a Sunday, that's one thing, but if you're making it an everyday habit, um, that's a habit you're gonna want to break.
It's true.
And this is like from personal experience, not like I'm some like expert self-care managed human, especially right now that we're all working from home. It's like your schedule is thrown off. And I'm the kind of person who enjoys schedule. Like even when I was in high school, I would come home from school and if I didn't have soccer practice or track practice, I'd come right home, do all my homework, and then like be like freedom, woo. And then I would just like kind of do whatever, practice outside with my friends, play, go to someone's house, watch TV, whatever. Then we pretty much eat dinner as a family every night and then relax, watch TV together, and go to bed. And now as an adult, I find like I also really enjoy routine, even like the self care thing. I think when we first started teaching, it took up way more time than it does now because you're making everything from scratch. You have no idea what you're doing. So be nice to your first year teachers and your young teachers. We're just doing the best we can.
Mm-hmm.
So I literally like made a schedule. Like on Monday, I'm going to do yoga, and Tuesday, I'm going to do a face mask. Wednesday, I'm going to read for fun, and Thursday, I'm going to write for fun. Um, Things like that. Like you have to decide, like find a couple of things that really refresh you and refill you because when you're going all the time, you do have an hour out of the day where you could do something that you want to do. You have to carve it out and make time for it.
But at the same time, you can't, say it's self-care, like we said before, and then play 8 hours of video games and then go, oh, well, I need this to de-stress, because then you're going to be stressed about not having your work done. So it kind
Right.
of,
And escapism is just that, it's an escape. Like you're not actually getting at the root of your problem. Just like self-care in a lot of ways is not getting at the root of the problem. Like if you're stressed out about all the work you have to do, you have to make a plan. It's still going to be there when you come back from Fortnite. It's still going to be there. So like if I have to, like right now, I have to grade 34 essays for my seniors, but they're not due for 2 weeks. So I'm only going to grade two a day. Why would I try to grade them all in one day? I'll freak out. The feedback's not going to be as good, and I'm going to be really stressed. If I do two a day, it's just a little bit of time out of my day, and I'll be more effective and give them more meaningful feedback. So if you have a big project coming up, not saying you're going to stick to your plan every day, because sometimes I don't grade any essays and I have to grade three the next day or four the next day, or sometimes I'm in the zone and I'm going to grade six so I can get ahead of it. If you have a big project coming up, at least make the plan like, okay, I'll work on it 20 minutes a day. And then if you don't follow the plan, you can adjust.
because it's only going to, you're just going to be stressed about new things that pop up in life too. I feel like I got some self-care through this conversation,
Me
honestly.
too. Talking is one of my favorite self-care strategies, talking to my friends.
Yeah, even during I think was it earlier this week? The days are running into each other. I don't know what day is what anymore.
We only did 1 week of online school,
God, it feels like I haven't seen anybody in like a month now. But
and it was not
earlier,
even a full week.
oh my God, you're right. Oh,
We
we
had off
started halfway through
Monday.
the week. Oh my God. Yeah, no. So we our friends, we did a group, a video chat, because we were all like, we're isolated and we are going insane and we're stressed out. Let's talk to each other. And we just had a really nice, just, it wasn't really a vent session though, because I feel like a lot of times people go, oh, let's vent, but it becomes just about the negativity and then nothing good comes of it.
Mhm.
So it was really nice. So that's like another thing that we do personally for self-care. So some of you who are chatty like me, that's going to be a great technique. Some of you are very private and you'll say, no, miss, nobody can know my inner feelings. Okay, well, journal, write a blog post. Um,
Or be a really good listener
yeah,
because I think that's the friend that everybody likes the most is like sometimes you want someone to listen to you.
yeah. Okay, so I feel like that's some grade A content there, Miss Policio.
Thanks for having me, Miss Choi.
That was some straight wisdom. We are grateful for you. And everyone should wish that you meet someone like a Jacqueline Policio in your life at some point because she's awesome.
And you already met a Miss Choi, but I hope you have one as a friend as well, and not just a mentor, inspirational teacher, superhuman.
Depends on whether or not I have my coffee. But yeah, meet me on coffee, I think is a good a good friend to have in life.
And if you did your self-care. All
Yeah.
right, so thanks for having me. You can follow me on Twitter at Ms. Pelliccio, MSPELLICCIO.
She got that social media. She's cooler than me.
I don't have a podcast.
It's true. Oh, we balance each other out. It's perfect.
Yes, self-balance, friend balance, all the balances.
Yes, balance. And if you fall because you don't know how to balance, it's okay. Just pick yourself off the floor, pretend that it didn't happen, just move on. It's fine. That's what everyone does. Okay. Alrighty, folks. Let me see. Okie dokie. This is always so weird. I'm always in front of the camera, and then when there's someone else, I'm like, what do I do? But I guess that's for me. That's kind of my coping mechanism. I use very morbid humor to cope with life. And I feel like a lot of people misunderstand when, you know that thing where like something very small happens and you say, well, I guess I'll just die. And people are like, oh my God, you shouldn't say that. I'm like, it's my coping mechanism. You need to chill out.